Tom, Aussies definitely have a knack for making things fun. We turn anything into a laugh.
Yeah.
And I'd say there's one tradition that gets a good rinsing and hasn't seemed to lose its touch, and that's the Eagle Rock.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows what you do. When this song comes on, doesn't matter where you are, doesn't matter who you're with, the pants are coming off.
Yeah, and it's so popular, I reckon, that to the point, even if you don't want to do it, you see so many people that clearly don't want to partake, but then they begrudgingly take their pants off and they get involved because you feel like it's a...
It's almost like you'll get charged if you don't, you know?
It's a loose Australian law, you know? Some cop's going to come in and arrest you if you don't take your pants off is what it feels like. So everyone seems to get around it, but it's obviously been around for a long, long time. And we know about it, but... We were saying before, I think, at least 95% of people know that, you take your pants off during the Eagle Rock. That's the tradition when you hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. But one of our mates didn't know this.
Yeah, so we were over at his house the other night and it comes on. Everyone parades to the dance floor. We're all dancing around, pants off. And then we're seeing our mate not really get involved.
Kind of like looking at us, almost scratching his head. What's going on? And then...
Right, it was like Attenborough looking at, a bunch of monkeys doing a weird ritual or something, thinking, what are these creatures doing? Why are they doing that? Really trying to understand us and debunk what's going on.
And then I guess he thought that it was just like you take any bit of clothing off and he starts unbuttoning his shirt.
I think he went into panic mode. He was like, oh, what do I do? I don't know how he didn't clock on and look at all of us without our pants and, the common denominator, no pants.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll take my pants off, but he thought... Okay, maybe this means it's just any bit of clothing. He starts unbuttoning his shirt behind the kitchen counter. And then so we're all looking at him stunned. Yeah. Thinking, what are you doing? Yeah. And now he's just dancing behind the counter with his shirt off.
Just had no idea about the tradition, and that's why we want to open up the text line. What's your favourite Aussie tradition? What's the best Aussie tradition out there?
We want to know your favourite because our mate, I think it is his favourite now. We did explain afterwards, hey, you don't do the shirt, you do the pants. And he said, well, okay, I didn't know that.
An excuse to get these itchy pants off.
Yeah, he just wanted to show off the guns.
What are some of your favourite Aussie traditions, mate?
So speaking of dancing ones like that, the nut bush, bit of a cracker.
Oh, yeah, nut bush.
It's a good one. Speaking of live golf, everything going on there, how loose it was. The shoey does get a good rinse.
Yeah.
That is a fun one.
Another fun one, it's another song, but whenever this comes on...
You may... Oh... Course.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like
we can't say it on radio, but everyone knows what you sing in between the chorus.
See, I feel like this got a rinsing after the Eagle Rock. It was really an Australian rock tribute party at this house on the weekend.
We heard an interesting one as well from our content director the other day that, when you're singing Happy Birthday, apparently it's only in Australia where people go, hip, hip,
right.
Hooray. Apparently that's an Australian thing. They don't do that around the world.
Yeah, no, there's heaps of, the Happy Birthday song definitely gets a different spin everywhere you go.
Someone's texted in saying, I'm 42, always lived in Australia. I've never heard of that.
Huge.
They seem a little upset about this whole Eagle Rock tradition.
All the years they've been missing out of having their pants around their ankles.
But I can tell you, it's from the 70s. This came about in the 70s from the University of Queensland. Uni students started dropping their DACs whenever Eagle Rock played, and then it just caught on, became nationwide.
God,
so it's been around for donkey's years.
That's huge bragging rights, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Saying you're one of the founding members, the founding fathers of the Eagle Rock pants dance. Got this text here, Tom, speaking of favourite Aussie traditions. I don't know if it's just in Australia, but I've never understood holding your breath when going through a tunnel or driving past a cemetery.
Yeah, that's another weird one. I don't get the tunnel. I know when I was growing up, my sister used to always hold her breath past a cemetery and told me if I don't do the same, the spirits will come into me.
Yeah.
So that's why I used to hold my breath going past a cemetery.
Not as fun as the Eagle Rock. It's more instilling fear into a child.
Doom and gloom, isn't it?
I love this one here. Goon sack on the clothesline. Single-handedly best Aussie invention.
Yeah, the goon sack is a top-notch one.
Da Vinci had the helicopter. We have the wheel goon of fortune.
Another text here. Big pineapple, big banana. The fact that we like big things. Yeah. You know, the big rocking horse. It's
great.
It doesn't stop, does it?
Once again, all these other countries have these huge monuments, but we love a good big banana in the middle of nowhere. This one here, best Aussie tradition is playing a friendly match of thong throwing.
Oh, yep. See how far you can throw the thong.
Good.
Hey, Callum, I mean, the text line is currently blowing up of people never hearing about this Eagle Rock tradition. Just got another one, 50 this year. Never heard this, seen, done Eagle Rock tradition. Another text, never heard of Eagle Rock.
That's insane.
Eagle
crazy.
Rock.
I mean, it's playing right now.
I think we've asked the wrong question here. Do you know the Eagle Rock tradition, Adelaide?
If you don't know the Eagle Rock tradition, tell us. I think this is emergency protocol now. This is what I want to find out about.
Chuck us a text. Do you know the Eagle Rock tradition, or are we talking absolute gibberish right now?
Is this nonsense? Is this just? I'll be dumbfounded if there's people more than these two people that don't know the Eagle Rock.
Yeah, 53. Never heard about no pants. Another text in now. People don't know about the Eagle Rock tradition.
Crisis.
I'm glad this Tuesday morning we can let you know next time you're at the pub and Eagle Rock comes on, it is socially acceptable to pull your dacks down and start dancing.
Don't be afraid. We are caught out by surprise, Tom. There are so many people that don't know the Eagle Rock pants around the ankle tradition.
Yeah, now there are a few people on the text line that know about it, saying they do it at every family, gathering, at weddings and everything. But majority of the people on our text line are saying they've never heard of this. We've got this text saying, I'm 45, my dad was a DJ growing up, did weddings, parties, never heard of that tradition, and yes, we played Eagle Rock all the time.
What about this accusation? 50, never heard of Eagle Rock, no pants tradition. I think you guys made it up.
We did not
Made
make
it
it up. No, it is a tradition. Callum, I don't know. I reckon maybe we need to find all the people in Adelaide who haven't done the Eagle Rock tradition, get them all into one pub somewhere and just blast some Eagle Rock.
I think that's all we need to do. Just
make sure
honestly,
you wear your boxers that day.
Yeah, no commando allowed.
No.
Otherwise, yes, it does become a legal matter. You have to have underpants on when you do the Eagle Rock. But yeah, everyone in one room. Imagine your partner saying, "Oh, what are you up to tonight?" Going to the pub. Tom Callum and telling me I'm going to take my pants off at some point of the night. At some random point, Eagle Rock will play. But I reckon we should do that.
Yeah, and we were talking about the origins of this tradition, saying it came about in the 70s at the University of Queensland. That's what the Ross Wilson, who is part of the band, came out and said. But we've got a text in saying it's a hotly debated topic in Kapunda because the Kapunda Football Club reckon they made it up as well.
Jeez,
so
can
there's
you imagine?
this animosity between the Kapunda Football Club and the University of Queensland, who started this tradition back in the 70s.
Well, once a year, the Kapunda boys and the Queensland guys do a turf war. Have a fight in the middle of Australia with their pants down. It's an unruly match.
Callum, what if I told you I can make you smell delicious?
Tell me.
I mean, I'm talking like forget pheromones, right?
Right.
All that nonsense. This scent will have you running from the people like you're in the Beatles in the 60s.
Well,
Right.
all right, lay it on me. What is it?
All right, well, think of one place which is universally loved by all, especially us. You think about when you walk into this place, the minute those doors open, you get a whiff of, good times, freedom, and of course, chicken. Callum, KFC are releasing their perfume, number 11, Eau de Barbecue.
What?
Yeah.
You're not lying. It is indeed our favourite place. It is in the, top 5 places we go to on the reg.
Yeah.
And we do love it there. So what are they doing? How are they innovating this?
Well, I mean, the smells, it has a hint of smoky wood with a dash of charcoal. It's
Right.
actually like putting a bit of a spin, parodying almost a similar Tom Ford scent. But KFC have said they're putting their meaty twist on it.
Okay, so you said, the charcoaly kind of smell and stuff. Are they doing, is there a big flavour note of the chicken?
Well, they just say there's a meaty twist to come along with it.
It sounds vague. It
Yeah.
sounds like they could give a little bit more info on that. I do love the idea of going to a David Jones and instead of the swatch cards, they're putting it on a chip and waving that around your nose just so you can smell what it's like.
Imagine going to like a vegetarian's dinner party and you've sprayed yourself down with a KFC perfume.
Guys, I don't want to be offensive, but I thought
What smells so good?
I got this from my grandma, you know. It was either this or the Lynx Africa. And I said I wanted this on my Christmas list.
I mean, what would you rather? Go to a party smelling like KFC or go into a party smelling like Elon Musk's burnt hair perfume he released a couple of years
KFC.
ago?
I think the KFC is not a bad smell. I think you could get around that quite a bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
It could be great.
You would smell amazing and you would have the lack of grease to go along with it.
Yeah, I mean...
What's not to love?
It stops, you know,
I
having
wonder
to
if maybe
clean
they're just
fingers.
bottling grease from the stores.
Well, you reckon that's the meaty twist that they're so vague about and clearly don't want to give an explanation?
Callum, we had a bit of a hiccup the other night where we went back for a bit of the night was coming to an end. All right.
Yeah.
And we went back somewhere to watch a movie and chill out and call it a night,
Sure.
go to sleep. And as we're watching this movie, we put on a horror flick, and as we're watching it, we hear this sort of beep go off, and we're thinking, geez, is that the movie?
Oh, it's one of those, you know, had to really pay attention. Oh, what a weird thing to put in the script.
Yeah.
An alarm going off at this time.
And it was happening so infrequently that you'd pause the movie to try and see whether it was happening in the house that we were at or in the movie. Nothing would happen. You'd play the movie back. You'd hear the beep again. It'd be like, I really don't think that's in the movie. Eventually, we had to pause the movie for, I think, about like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then this beep goes off. And we're looking around trying to figure out what it is. Like, is it the microwave? Is it some air fryer or something?
Yeah, I'm glad, like, at this point we realised it was in the house and it wasn't, you know...
It wasn't coming from inside the house.
It wasn't an entity coming from the TV, you know, with the horror movie and stuff, but we, just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, so it turns out it was the fire alarm. So it was beeping because I guess it needed to be replaced. And we were trying to figure it. I don't have much expertise when it came to fire alarms, nor did you.
No.
So I did the only thing I know what to do. I grabbed a ladder and I went up there and had a look at it, and I just started pressing buttons on it.
It was one of those funny as, you know, you like to think you know what to do in those situations with something in the house with the fire alarm, but as soon as you climbed up the ladder, it was one of those... Look in the face of, what do I do now?
I felt emasculated
the
at the
hands
top
on
of that ladder.
Put the hands on. I'm all the way up here in Mount Everest now. Do I put the flag in the snow? What do I do? You're looking up and you just got your hands on your hips and you think, I have no idea what to do with this thing. Why is it still beeping? Do I punch it?
So we're like, I was trying to take them off and then realized they were like hardwired. They were wired into the ceiling. So we took the batteries out and we're like, all right, happy days. Shouldn't be a problem from here.
Surely not.
It keeps beeping even though we've taken the batteries out. We had to spend all night with this infrequent beep going off from the fire alarm.
And like we said before, we don't know too much about these smoke alarms and whatever, but what kind of contraption still goes off without the batteries? That's where we also went back to the haunted idea.
What
we thought, well,
diabolical person.
maybe there is a ghost in it, because who the hell sets up a piece of technology that runs without batteries?
Yeah, so we do want to open up the phone lines. What alarm did you set off? Just the other month, there was this car alarm going off on our street.
Yeah.
And it was going on for, I want to say, at least 10 minutes. Like, this is a long time. And eventually, everyone's getting sick of it. So I've walked outside onto the front porch, looking up and down the street. Every single one of the neighbours are doing the same thing. Everyone's out on the front porch looking at each other, like trying to suss out, is it your car? Is it yours? And it just went on for 10 minutes till eventually someone clicked it, but no one like took ownership of who it was. The mystery stays alive.
The neighbourhood watch will come out from the shadows to see whose car it is. Well, was it just someone that had a big night, you know, comes back a few hours later? Sorry, guys. Flicks the keys.
No one knows. It just flicked off.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Probably someone hiding in their house.
Yeah.
Oh, crap, that's me.
Shutters open. Yeah.
We've got a doozy of a text. Let's kick it off here. This one is absolutely massive for setting off alarms. Someone said, set off the fire alarm at Marion Shopping Centre when I was a kid. Right. The whole centre had to evacuate. Next day, cops showed up at my house with CCTV footage of me breaking the glass. I was banned from Marion for 2 years and had to do 50 hours community service.
That's wild. I mean, that is in letting your intrusive thoughts win, isn't it? Because every time I see, you know, one of those break glass things, all I think in my head is like, I wonder how solid the glass is, right? Do you have to really give it a lot, or can you just poke a finger through it and it'll break?
Yeah, it's not like you want to be a criminal, but you just want to be a mythbuster of sorts. You're just like, I really want to test the durability of this glass. I want to see how well it goes.
It's just on my bucket list is all. Yeah. Just one day I want to break the glass.
Hope community services on your bucket list too. You can do both in one, knock them off.
Let's head over to Oakton. We got Nigel on the line. Nigel, good morning, mate. How you going?
I'm well, guys. Yourselves?
Very good.
Very well, mate. Now, what alarm did you set off?
Okay, so Curry Street high-rise is all government departments.
Yep.
And the company was in there refurbishing one of the levels. And one of the boys got a bit gung-ho cutting cables around the reception desk. Inadvertently cut a distress cable.
Oh, no.
And we were confronted by about a dozen police officers looking to see why this emergency had been called.
Nigel, how quick from cutting the wire to the cops getting there? How quick did they get there?
Less than 5 minutes. Angus Street's just around the corner.
Yeah.
Jeez, very prompt. Was it a situation where there was a blue and a red wire and your man had to make the right call and accidentally chose the wrong one?
No, I think they're all the same colour.
Right.
It's
well,
hard,
fair
isn't
enough.
it?
You can't blame the guy.
Blame that guy for that. You know?
Good on you, Nigel.
We got Chad from Paralawi. Tell us, Chad, what was the alarm you set off? Chad.
Oh, hello.
G'day,
Chad,
mate.
Sorry.
No, you're all right. Hey, mate, what alarm did you set off, Chad?
So we're working over in the Pilbara, mate. You know, we're all in like mining camp rooms, and all the boys everyone hits the vapes in the rooms and sort of things like that. So
Yep.
after a half a dozen times the alarm going off, everyone sort of walking out in front of their room going, well, which one of yous was it this time, you know? And then end up having to employ a bit of the art of deflection and hitting up the bosses saying, you know, this is ridiculous, all these alarms keep going off. But it turns out it's actually just the humidity in the air, it's not the alarms.
Okay, so it wasn't the vaping, it was the humidity that just set off the alarm.
So for about a week, everyone thought we were all going to get pulled in the office eventually, and someone was going to get bloody sacked. But it didn't turn out.
Hey, you lived another day.
Good on you, Chad. Cheers, mate. Hey, let's wrap things up. Luke in Smithfield. Good morning, mate. What alarm did you set off?
Well, so there's a hotel car park down at Glenelg that has a attachment to it, and basically there was a door that we weren't supposed to really enter from the car park because it was, for whatever reason, stuck ajar.
Spelling trouble.
On some drunk antics, decided, stuff it, we'll walk through the door, and then we ended up getting stuck into basically a walkway that no one's supposed to be in, and there was only one way out, and it set the alarm off to basically a full emergency exit for the hotel.
Oh,
Right.
my God.
Okay,
so were you locked in there as well when the alarm was going off?
Yeah, because when we opened the door, we didn't think, because, you know, we had a few to drink, that it ended up shutting behind us.
So, Luke, what's the reception like, you know, when you got found and everyone saw who the culprits were?
There was no cameras in there. That was the weirdest part. We looked around. There was no cameras.
Oh, so you...
It was just a...
Scot-free.
You've gone away scot-free.
Yeah, no one knew who it was. There was no cameras.
Got the mastermind on the phone here.
Yeah.
The cat burglar. He's joined us live.
Luke from Smithfield, totally anonymous.
Tom, parents constantly asking for help with IT stuff will be the death of me. You know, because it really does frustrate me because parents assume that we at our age know a lot about tech. And, you know, they'll ask all these questions and then I'll turn around and think, I actually don't know as much as you think I do.
That's
and
the thing.
It's always just some ridiculous question.
Yeah, a lot of the... But I agree where, I feel like we don't know as much as what we do. But I feel like with the knowledge we have, we can sort of, deter to our common sense just due to growing up with technology, knowing how to sort of navigate it better.
Yeah. Obviously, it's going to be better. But it always just does come down
Still
to...
time-consuming
It always
for
just
me.
does come down to, have you Googled it? It's always that easy. Just Google how to do it. That's all I do. My parents think I'm some tech wizard. I just hop on Google. I'm like, how do I do this? But one request came from the pub last night. I was out with my parents for dinner. And it wasn't a request that was hard at all, but it was
Right.
just a weird technology request that really caught me off guard, this one, because I thought it was going to be a complicated tech question when my dad pulled out the phone, but it was quite easy and straightforward. He says, I'm checking in. What should I say?
He's checking in. Wait.
So on his phone,
So you were out,
we're at the pub.
and he wanted to check into the pub on Facebook or something.
So this is such an old person thing. So everywhere we go, if we go out somewhere in public, like a pub or a restaurant, he wants to check in. So he wants to say, Mark is checking in at, blank, whatever pub or place it is.
Does he think he
usually
needs
it's
to
got a
check
little
in to get like the reservation across the line?
No,
or?
no, he just wants to tell people that's where he is. He just wants people to know that he's at the pub.
In case something happens.
Which is something I keep on the
Yeah.
down low in my life. I don't want people knowing the frequency. But he seems to want everyone to know. And it's always followed by an emoticon. So it's, Mark is at the pub feeling, and it'll be excited. And then a big smiley face. And then it will be a caption, with my son Callum, or something like that. So he was wanting help with the caption, and it turned into this fiasco because my mum was like, why the hell do you need to check in?
Right.
And he's like, I just want to. And then my mum said, nobody cares where you are. Nobody cares
What
that
about
you're
all
at the
his
pub.
fans? His waves of fans.
He's got a huge following of people
Yeah.
that want to know what schnitzel topping he's getting at the Cumberland Arms Hotel.
I wonder if Mark's getting the Mexican tonight or just
Yeah.
plain gravy.
I must know. It's ridiculous.
Honey, he hasn't checked in yet.
Is he all right? Has he been kidnapped?
I mean, it's classic, like, parents on social media. My dad is an absolute culprit for, on Instagram, when you look at people's stories. So stories, you can post them for 24 hours on Instagram. It's just a picture or a video of something that's happened in the moment. And my dad will flip through people's stories, specifically people I know, my friends, and then send a fire react to them. And he's in the innocence of thinking, I'm sending the fire because it's cool, it's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you send a flame emoji to someone, it's typically you're trying to hit on them.
Yeah.
So my dad,
universally in our age group, the fire emoji, you think someone's hot.
so my dad is inadvertently flirting with our content director, a previous Brekkie Show host, Davo, other previous Brekkie Show host, Loz from Loz and Tomo.
Yeah, he's an absolute fiend.
And they all love it. They get around it. They're like, Phil's sending me flame emojis. And I'm like, Dad, you got to stop. You don't know what you're doing.
You don't know which way it could go. It's a 50-50 coin. You're either a creep or a schmooze. Tom, it's all happening here in Adelaide. I mean, we had Live Golf.
Yep.
Had Chasing Status. So many things going on over
Showdown this week.
Yeah. But this weekend, it was absolutely massive, the one that just went. But I have to say, something takes the cake over in another country in terms of festivals and traditions that they had.
You're kidding. Over Live Golf?
Yeah, literally. I would say this is... I would still rather go to Live Golf, obviously. This is just a bit bizarre. It's over in Japan, and it's the Nakazumo Crying Baby Festival. And I say I would rather go to Live Golf because it's Live Golf, but also this is just bizarre. It's one of those really strange ones. Obviously, it's tradition over there, but it is absolutely crazy.
So what is... Something to do with babies crying. What is it?
So pretty much a bunch of parents over in Japan, and I had no idea this was a thing.
Yeah.
There's a lottery system so they can get their baby into this so they can win a chance to participate. And pretty much it's the first baby to cry wins. And what do they win? It's just pretty much winning the idea that they're going to be fit and healthy when they grow up. But a lot of parents obviously love, they want their baby to be fit and healthy, so they fight for the competition to be in this.
But what does crying have to do with being fit and healthy?
Because it kind of like lets out the energy and stuff like that.
So are the parents like their coaches, like in a boxing ring, how they like massaging the shoulders, giving them water and stuff? And then are they trying to make him cry? Do they go slap pots and pans in front of him?
The parents don't participate. They're on the sidelines. Someone else makes the babies cry.
How do you get that job?
Yeah, I don't know. You just have to be a real arsehole, I guess. But yeah, so it pretty much they have someone there to make the babies cry. If the baby's not crying hard enough and the parents want some extra assistance, they bring out the tengu, a bird demon mask that someone wears.
Oh my God.
To scare the babies so they'll
This
cry a
sounds
bit
traumatic.
more. Yeah, it sounds horrible. Doesn't it?
And this happens This is an annual festival. It happens every year.
This is every year over in Japan. It's still going strong. Only 100 lucky babies get to participate and be traumatized on a national level. I don't know what the reward really is.